In this video, we're going to be talking about molecular compounds. Molecular compounds are things that are covalently bonded. Their naming and their formula writing is dead easy as long as you know some basic prefixes. Right? So you won't need your chart of charges for this. You might want to have a periodic table to help you out a little bit with naming the elements, but we can kind of, for the most part, work without it for the video. But you will still need your notebook and something to write with. So once you have those things ready, let's go. Now, the key distinguishing thing between ionic compounds and molecular compounds. In ionic compounds, there's usually a metal somewhere in that compound, right? Whether it's the metal at the beginning, or sometimes your polyatomic ion may have a metal in it. Molecular compounds have no metals. They're entirely non-metal. And the way that we name them is based off of a prefix. The subscript next to that symbol tells you what prefix to use. So you say the prefix for that, then the element's root name, and you do that all the way through. The last element ends in the letters IDE, right? So it'll end in like oxide or fluoride or something like that. The prefixes, again, prefixes are same as geometry, right? So if you know them, you know them. 1 mono, 2 di, 3 tri. So the prefix for 4 is tetra. 5 is penta, 6 hexa, 7 hepta, 8 octa, 9 is nona, and 10 is deca, right? So these just follow your geometry prefixes for the most part. If you know them, you're good to go. The only trick is that you only use mono if it's for oxygen at the end of a compound. Right, so you only use it if the compound will end in the phrase monoxide. Aside from that, you ignore the 1. So let's try a couple of these. Right, so S2F6. Well, the prefix for 2 is di. S is sulfur. So we have disulfur, one word. For F, the prefix for 6 is hexa. F is fluorine, so we take fluorine, we end it with IDE to get fluoride. So we have disulfur hexafluoride. Now, one thing you'll notice is that if your prefix ends with a vowel and your element name begins with a vowel, you can usually drop the vowel from the end of the prefix. So for the one on the right, we have tetranitrogen decoxide or decaoxide. You can actually drop that A at the end of the prefix occasionally. Right, so if we look at this, nitrogen is N, tetra means 4, so we have N4. Oxide is O, deca means 10, so O10. So the formula for tetranitrogen decaoxide is N4O10. That's all there is to doing molecular compounds, with one small exception. There are 3 compounds that have names that predate this naming system. For those 3 compounds, we use their common names more often than anything else. Those 3 compounds are H2O, which is water, NH3, which is ammonia, and CH4, which is methane. Alright, so those are molecular compounds. In the next video, which is the last one for this chapter, we're going to go over how to write the formulas and name acids.